Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, what we want to know is, and what we've come across ourselves is the understanding of how to look, how we look outside of ourselves for the things that we think are going to make us happy. So, whether it's more money, a better relationship, a better location, a better, better children, better parents, better house, better this, better that, right? So, how do we be happy even though we don't have those things? Because the truth is, and according to Earl Nightingale as well, that if we're looking for something outside of ourselves, then we'll never actually achieve what's going on. What we'll never achieve it because it's actually an internal process. So I think he says it's something like, if we're always looking for external things to make us feel good, we're actually never going to feel it because it's an internal process. And so we love talking about this kind of stuff because this is our ideal of the upper model thinking and the lower model thinking. And we all came from the lower model thinking. So once you get this experience of like, wow, I can empower myself, it's very exciting. It's a concept that can change your whole world. Isn't that right, Rita?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, that is big right there. That right there is big. It's huge. Looking outside ourselves for happiness is, as brain trainers, we know it was developed from 0 to 7, 8, 9, 10, and even to today that it was, our parents fed us. So that made us happy. We weren't hungry. So that made us happy. So outside circumstances did dictate our happiness, but we're grown up now. And now it's time to update our memories that support that, because you're right. If I'm dependent on my love to make me, and this is, I always had a thing, I'm divorced and for, I don't know, 20 years now, I think. No, just kidding, like 10, 15 years. I don't know how long. And I remember that I would see my friends and their husbands. And as a wife, they had this expectation that it was his job to make them happy. And, being divorced was like, girl, you got it wrong, because it is our own job to make. Our husbands cannot make us happy. There's no way. They're going to lose that war, because they've already lost the battles.
And
so,
men know this, right? You're like,
no, they don't.
Happy. I mean, they know that they can't fulfill
they try.
that.
Right. They try, because if they knew, they would be like, I'm done. Like, so there's this thing that we have, there's this mindset that, we go from our homes to school, to college, we learn to be a little bit independent. And then we're looking for that one person to make us happy. We're looking for that one job with that one career, with that to make us happy. We're looking for that perfect career to make us happy. And really, if we don't do that within ourselves, then it is going to be hard or we're just always chasing the carrot, right? You've heard that
Exactly.
You're always chasing the carrot. So,
and you always are then. You always are, because as soon as you get that level of, as soon as your husband picks up his shoes all the time, and that's all you needed to be happy, then it's the next thing, right? Like, well, can't you put your own socks away? Then it's the next thing, like, can't you cook a meal once in a while? Then so we'll always raise the bar because it's never going to be good enough.
And we're raising the bar on other people. We're not raising the bar on ourselves. We're not looking at ourselves. It is so interesting how we can see the faults of everyone else, but we cannot see how we're contributing or not contributing in our own lives, in our own happiness. So how do you do it, Tammy? What are some things that you can do to start to realize that looking outside yourself is not going to work? They will work, but not for long.
Right. It is that, instant satisfaction that you eventually want more of. And that's because you haven't actually figured out how to do it inside of yourself. So the one thing that's really important to notice is when you're happy, where is that sensation? Where is it? It's inside your own body. So once we know how to do that sensation, could we do it more? Could we do it more often? And so we have this technique down below that's really going to help you start to change your own state of mind. And that's really important if you want to have and create the life you love. If you want to have the relationship you love, then the only person you can change is yourself. And we hear that a lot. But how do we do it? And this is the key, guys. This is the key, is to notice that it's inside of you. How are you doing it? What does it feel like? Where is its location? All right. I talk about this a lot. Whenever I was getting really super sad, I would feel like there was a big lump in my throat and I couldn't swallow and like I was getting choked. Well, this is an internal feeling. I mean, I almost went to the doctor for it because I'm like, this lump is always there now, right? Because
let's operate.
It's an internal process. It's sadness was becoming very locational in my body. So what I had to do is notice that, oh, that sad feeling is inside of my body. And that's when we notice it. And then we say, let it go. We look up, we smile, we tap. The reason we're tapping, there's a lot of good health. Like you can look up all the health journals on tapping and what it actually does for you, but you're relaxing your brain and you're bringing it back to present. And it's really important to relax your brain, bring it back to present, and then direct it. So now we've let go, like, so that big lump in my throat, I actually created it because it's sadness. And that's how I thought sadness was. So let it go, let it go, let it go. Deep breath in, blow it all out. Do the breathing for your subconscious and anchor something peaceful. So we like saying, don't learn to swim when you're drowning. So have your happy memories ready, because that's you're going to direct your brain with a happy memory. Right.
The best time to learn how to swim. Yeah. The best time to learn how to swim is when you're not drowning. So while you're here and you're like, so yeah, if you're looking outside yourself for happiness, just notice if you're expecting, you know what expectation is, or expectation is a premeditated resentment. Because if they don't do it how you wanted, if they don't, do it at that moment in time, just notice how you are being, because that dictates your happiness. I will be happy now because, and just notice your stories and your narratives. That's when you want to start tapping. It's like when you notice that, you'll get like a swoosh. You're like, oh my God, I'm doing it to myself. And so that's when you just keep going. You keep doing rounds and rounds, get an idea, get a concept, start breaking that expectation, that premeditated, resentments, start dissipating that.
I love that.
So you can be happy, because it's not going to be fun. It's going to be, it's very painful.
And the only way that you're ever going to feel empowered. Now, really think about this. It's like, oh, if it's my responsibility, then I'm responsible. And then, they're not going to be responsible for themselves. And all of these stories that we create about how, if I'm taking all the responsibility, I'll be taken advantage of. Right. So, but what is good for you is still good for you, period. Yeah. And it will just try it, experiment with it, how it changes other people's reactions to you, how people respond differently. Because if that thought, and this is all Earl Nightingale's talking about, is like your thoughts and what you're thinking, you're not aware of what you're thinking until you are aware. So when you're like, I'm sad, well, how do you know that? And so then taking those thoughts and feelings and noticing they're inside of you, that's the only thing that's going to empower you. Yeah, it really is. You cannot be empowered by waiting for someone else to give you something to feel better.
Yeah. And I think what you were talking about, there's kind of sounded like a little bit of the victim mindset. Like I'm the responsible. And I think there's something, as brain trainers, we know that it's a part of a memory that's linked from a young age that you got in trouble because you did not cross your T's and dot your I's, and there was a consequence. And what happens is, as adults, we're afraid to make mistakes. They're like deadly, but we got to know that you're an adult, and adults don't make mistakes. They're just an experience that either work for what you want or don't work. And we can rectify it. We can clean it up by tapping. We can clean it up by not doing it again. We can promise something different and be conscious about it. There's so many ways to do it. But if you notice that you are pissed off because someone didn't do something, you get angry, and you already have a premeditated anger waiting to happen because you know he's going to walk in the door and he's already going to start tapping. Just let it go. If a thought starts coming in, because it's 3:00 and he's coming home, just start tapping. Let it go. Right. Let it go, because you're already ready to pounce. Exactly. And it's not going to make you happy.
That's the thoughts that's creating your future. Is that really what you want? And I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware, like, I'm thinking he's going to do this and I'm going to say that, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to have this other fight. Right. So, but I was creating it. I'm the one that was thinking about it, and worrying is that great wish. And maybe it's not a huge wish for something bad, right?
Yeah. And something not even worthwhile.
Right.
Is it really worth to break a relationship, to break a marriage up? Is it really worth that? Your health. I mean, look what you're doing to your health. Just by your stinking thinking, you are creating chaos in your body, and your body is trying to survive that chaos. Those, all the chaos that you create with your hormones and your angerness and that's all eating you up inside. So stop it. Stop
it. That's what we say. Stop it. There's this hilarious video. I love this psychologist that just is like, stop it. And it's true. I mean, if it's not happening right now in front of you, then you get to direct the play going on in your own mind. And that is how you empower yourself. That is how you change your thinking and how you direct yourself towards your goal again. If your goal is to have a happy relationship, if your goal is to have more money, if your goal is to feel healthy, then we always have to direct our brain to that. And then it will happen.
Yep. Drive your own bus, guys. Good job.
Good job. All right. We'll see you next time. Make sure and like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification so you know when we go live next, and share with us in your life how this is changing your world. We'd love to hear.